What is going on, FA Nation? John Impemba here with Howard Bender. Welcome into the Fantasy Alarm MLB DFS Playbook Game Day Preview Show. Here we are looking at the Tuesday 11-game main slate. Howard, big slate here today. Coming off of a nice night, you and I last night, taking down, winning some money in our tournaments here, giving out some good information, having the right stacks, having the right pitching in our lineups here. How things go for you overall when it was all said and done?
It was fine. I sent you that screenshot that I just came down. I 2.5x'd my money. I felt good about that. And, listen, that's just, these are the lineups that we're building right here on the show, and so, do things on your own and see what happens with you there. And I'm telling you, I love the fact that the playbook is fire. The guys, the team is off on the right foot, and we seem to be identifying some pretty nice value. So thank you all for joining us here. By the way, hit that like and subscribe button here on the Fantasy Alarm YouTube page. We appreciate it. It's just a nice little free way to show your support for us over here as we help you through. If you got questions, pop them into the chat. We're more than happy to answer them here as we're going along. So that's, again, 2.5x my money last night. John, how did you do last night?
Yeah, same thing. I play I play light sometimes. $12 single last night, made $30 on that. So about the same as you did, 2.5 X there. Had a little late life with that Diamondback stack that took a while to get going. After Freeland held them down for like 4 innings, we were able to come through and get some production there. Lourdes had the RBI single there in the 9th. Prevent him from getting the 0. Our value catcher came through with us, and Ivan Herrera. If you went him or if you went Stubbs, he also got on base, scored an RBI, had a run scored in that game. Brendan Marsh, who we liked as like a mini stack in Philly, he homered last night. You called out the Marcell Ozuna BVP numbers. Julio Teheran, he homered last night. So yeah, the lineup we put together certainly did well. We faded Blake Snell. Darvish actually ended up being the highest roster starter on our rostership projections by the time it was all said and done. He got shelled. So, going with the duo that we had last night with our starting pitchers ended up paying out pretty well. They're attacking, obviously, the Seattle matchup. So we look to do that again here today. Again, we have a lot to talk about. Again, we appreciate all of you guys that are tuning in. If you haven't already hit that like button, do so here. But let's just jump into it. I put the playbook in the chat as well. You can check that out if you're a Fantasy Alarm subscriber. Starting pitching today with 11 games on the slate. We have plenty of options to choose from here, Howard. When it comes to today's rostership projections here, I don't think it's probably too surprising to see the direction that many are looking to go in terms of building their lineups. We talked about this earlier today, looking at the matchups, teams we are looking to target. You and I liked Nathan Eovaldi at $8,800, but it is, again, right, at least for now, the top price guy that's getting the love, and Tyler Glasnow.
Yeah, Glasnow's getting all the love right now. He's the highest guy. And, you can see, look at the patterns of on the ownership. When you guys check it all out, Glasnow is top price guy. Carlos Rodon's a pay down. He's next. Then you got Zach Wheeler. There's the pay up. Kyle Harrison. There's the pay down. Somehow Merrill Kelly floats in here in the middle, but then you got another pay down in Savali and then a pay up in Eovaldi. So this is the direction that most people are obviously going. You can go 2 bargains if you want, but everybody seems to be getting a slice of that top end. I don't necessarily know if I have to go Glasnow. I'm perfectly fine not paying that much for him because I do think that Wheeler is a good solid play, $500 cheaper. But like you said, Nathan Eovaldi at $8,800, that seems to be, I feel like we wanted to live there in the preview show, and I feel like we just kind of want to camp out and stay.
I honestly have I really have no interest in changing my approach here. Nathan Eovaldi's still been the first guy that I've plugged into lineups here. I've done a bit more research today. Obviously, I did the Prize Picks, Underdog, and Sleeper articles. I liked Aaron Savale. I like the numbers that I was seeing here in this matchup against the Angels. I said it last night as well. if you can just avoid Mike Trout for the most part, like you're going to be able to do okay. Unfortunately, Mike Trout had a homer, he tripled, and that's a tough task in itself. Taylor Ward, I think, had another home run or had another good game in that one. But if Savali is able to pitch around, the Angels, they were a 25% strikeout rate against right-handed pitching on the season. They can definitely get some outs. And Sandoval, that guy is hit or miss on the mound. Tampa Bay could put up some runs against the lefty. So I kind of like going with Savali at $7,700 there. And then, we obviously had some other, mid-tier options that we were looking at on this slate as well. But yeah, Eovaldi for me was definitely a core plug.
Yeah, I think Eovaldi is definitely a core plug. We put him in the preview show. I think we built the lineup with him and Savali.
We did.
I don't think there's a reason to change. You could maneuver around. I don't dislike Kyle Harrison. In this matchup against Washington. I know that they're not like a big strikeout team and they kind of work the count a little bit, which is why I'm, kind of favoring Savali over Harrison. But I think if you are looking for that other pay down, I'd rather trust that. In all honesty, I'd rather trust that than Carlos Rodon.
Sure.
I think Rodon is a solid pitcher, and I need to see it more from him. And I know everybody says, well, no, you want to be ahead of the curve. You know what? When it comes to DFS, if I've got so many other options here, I don't need to to be the first one on him. Let me get another couple of starts under his belt.
Yeah. Again, yesterday we targeted that matchup against Seattle. It paid off again, big time there. We even had sort of a ceiling strikeout game from Berrios, 6 2/3 shutout, 6 strikeouts. I asked you this morning on the preview show, thoughts on Chris Bassett. He's had 2 tough road starts against Tampa Bay and Houston. Hasn't looked good in either of them, but Seattle keeps on scattling right now. 30% strikeout rate, not hitting the ball well. We went over the lefties that are in that lineup. I mean, nothing really special there. Would you, when in a time where maybe Bassett is going overlooked because of his initial start here, we've seen him have good starts in the past. Would you give him a look in tournaments today?
I mean, you can, absolutely. I think that, the strikeout potential because it's Seattle. Did you say Seattle's Seattling?
Seattle is Seattling, yeah.
I kind of like that. I like that.
To the start of the year, Seattling is just them striking out.
So. Seattling is just them striking out, and that's fine. Listen, you could go that direction with Bassett. There are pitchers here. Listen, you could go with Cole Reagans, even though it's against Houston. We've seen an uptick in velocity. The way that Reagans is throwing right now, that's there's upside, there's risk. Yeah. But it's like the same thing there with Bassett, So there's risk with Bassett getting hit around, maybe a little less because it's Seattle. So I'm perfectly fine going in that direction if you want to just kind of meet in the middle of the bargain guy and the top price.
Definitely a risk of Cole Reagans because Houston just continues to kill left-handed pitching and they're not striking out against southpaws. That said, over on PrizePicks today, you get the first 3 innings strikeout prop. I took the over 3.5 Ks for Cole Reagans there. He's got 9 outs to get 4 strikeouts for me here, and he is obviously an elite strikeout pitcher. Willing to take that risk and the upside there for him at $8,200. Again, he's faced some tough lineups. Baltimore shut him out over 6 innings, struck out 7. Minnesota, obviously, they strike out all the time. 9 Ks for them there. So I don't mind it, but you just got to be wary. They rank towards the bottom 3 in the league in strikeout rate. They're the top 5 in OPS and isolated power. That lineup. It's because their lefties hit lefties, Howard. There's no relief in that lineup. Tucker and Jordan both hit lefties really, really well. So it can be a bit of a struggle city there for those southpaw pitchers. Julian, happy to have you in the chat here today. Appreciate you tuning in. If you have any questions, guys, feel free to throw them in the chat. Angelo, I'm starting Reagans, Rodon, and Ronaldo Lopez and a head-to-head. Good luck to you, sir. Some of those are obviously in some tough matchups. We're waiting on Carlos Rodon to break out of his funk and look like the guy that pitched for the White Sox, and the Giants even there. Ronaldo Lopez, you and I actually like Ronaldo Lopez today, Howard.
Yeah, well, I think you get some win equity with Ronaldo Lopez here going up against the Mets. Mets are throwing Adrian Hauser. And listen, the Mets lineup isn't really that great. Now, you've got to get through, Lindor's off to a slow start. He did heat up a little bit on Sunday. He went yard. Pete Alonso, really, they just haven't really gotten going. This whole Mets team has been,
I think
riding the
Beatty's
struggle
their
bus.
best hitter right now. I think
Beatty could be their best hitter right now, and wouldn't that be crazy? The year, of course, that I invest in Pete Alonso because he's donating all of his money to animal shelters, and look at this. But
right.
I mean, listen, I think it's a good spot for Reynaldo Lopez. It's not a very strong lineup. It doesn't matter if Beatty's hitting well right now. It's the rest of that lineup is a little.
Your guy Zach Allen, you were in on him in Coors last night. Had 10 strikeouts, did give up some runs there, didn't last too long in that game. Coors Field in effect, obviously. Merrill Kelly against Colorado in his first start there, 8 strikeouts, 1 earned. Now he's in Coors. Do you give Merrill Kelly a look at all tonight?
I don't think you need to.
Okay.
I mean, I love Merrill Kelly. I think he's a great pitcher, but I don't think you need to. If the Rockies hitters are at home and they're feeling it right now, and they turned out a solid performance last night, then why do you need to go to Merrill Kelly?
Right.
How contrarian do you
raining
need
all
to
day
be
there in Atlanta as well? Yeah, let's check out the weather. Honestly, it's been a little bit since I've rechecked back in to see what's going on in the world of the weather here for today's MLB DFS slate. Atlanta's got some rain in the afternoon, it looks like, so we'll see if there's a late start there, but doesn't seem like it's going to be a delay or any risk of postponement there in that game. Dodgers Minnesota, I guess, also a game. Is that even on our slate? Do you have Dodgers Minnesota?
Dodgers Minnesota?
We do. Yep. That game's got some potential rain as well, but nothing that's gonna impact the game for an extended period of time. So 2 games at least to take note of as we get closer to the 7 p.m. roster lock. If we get any delay news, we'll obviously bring it to you while we're on the show. Sonny Gray is making his debut, but he's being limited to 60 to 70 pitches today. So no reason to throw out Gray there at 85, given the spot there. Any other starting pitchers for you here, Howard?
No, I think that we've pretty much talked about all of them. Just say no to AJ Puck. How about that?
Yeah, that works.
Yeah.
Catcher position. We do have some catchers in the lineup here today. We're looking for our value plugs. Alejandro Kirk is $3,200. We do get Christian Betancourt against Rodon at $2,700. I don't hate that. A couple of years ago with Tampa, Betancourt was hitting lefties pretty well. We'll see if any other value catchers open up, but overall, where are you looking to target the catcher position today?
Well, again, I don't mean to just keep running it back to the show that we did earlier, but Luis Campusano,
yeah,
I think he's in a really nice spot. The Cubs are throwing Ben Brown, who is not looked good at all. Interesting prospect, absolutely, but he has not looked good at all, and I think that he's very hittable. So, if you want to grab a little bit of value there, I think 3,500 for Campusano, considering the way he's performed, and we did see those Padres bats wake up late last night. Wow.
Yeah.
That was a pretty crazy 9th inning for them. It was like a 4-run 9th. Listen, I'm good going with Campusano here. We talked about him, and I still stand by it.
Yeah, this one changed on us in the morning show. DraftKings had Drew Smiley listed as the potential starter for the Cubs. He had the lefty matchup there. I'm still in on Campusano just at the price point. And again, when we get some more official lineups here, we'll have a better idea of maybe where we want to go and target. With our lineups today. But generally, again, I like to spend down when it comes to the catcher position, so could easily just do that as well. First base, where are we looking to go here today, Howard? I've seen plenty of spend up options, Coors Field. What are our thoughts here?
I love the fact that Jason Radowitz had Matt Olson featured in the playbook. It's Matt Olson. It's against Adrian Hauser, who is not a good right-handed pitcher at all. And listen, I can go back to the BVP and say that you shouldn't use Matt Olson, but this is Matty Olson, big lefty, and he's hitting in between Riley and Ozuna. They've got Olson down here in the cleanup spot, looking real sharp for me. So I'm probably when I'm building lineups, I will hang out with Matt Olson. Matty O hits dingers. But I'm not going to argue against, Ohtani, Freeman, against Louis Varland. I think those are great. So I said it, on the other show, and I'll probably say it every other show as well. First base is traditionally not a spot where I like to pay down in DFS.
I agree.
There are times when it will work, absolutely, but here early on in the season, I'm willing to spend up for the big power.
Yeah, Ohtani obviously on a heater right now. Obviously
Such a heater.
I can't even say a slow start. He had that stretch of like 1 for 4s, but lately all multi-hits. Homer's starting to come around for him. Definitely elite power. Mid-tier again, Christian Walker. We like him versus lefties. We like him versus righties. Doesn't really matter. You get him in cores. It all plays out. We do have Jake Berger and Josh Bell, 2 guys we've talked about. Miami on a whole does not hit left-handed pitching all that well, but Bell and Berger do. You got Rodon here, who continues to be iffy at best in the mid 4K range. I think both of those guys sort of stand out there as well for me.
Yeah, they definitely stand out. Yeah.
And then I go back to Lamonte Wade. Last night, 2 hits, 2 doubles.
I called Lamonte Wade.
I pointed him out. Gave you 10 fantasy points. Now he gets Jonah Don because Josiah Gray on the IL with the elbow. So a little bit of a better matchup potentially for Wade here. But again, has some power, hit 2 doubles last night. I don't hate it there.
I mean, listen, you can make a case 2 and 4, pro and con for anybody there. I guess the reason, it's funny when I say that, I'm not going to pay down at first base. I don't really, I get that there is some, stuff here to happen with Lamonte Wade. The question is like, where else do you really want to spend up?
Yeah,
that you're wanting
doing,
to
double
spend
outfield
down.
spends. Maybe you can't afford the high price first baseman.
Oh yeah, as an outfield spend there at 3,600. Yes, okay. You didn't say that. We're just talking.
I was saying if you wanted to use your salary and the outfield instead, or Corey Seager on this slate at shortstop, something like that, then you need to find a way to maybe spend down at first base. But I'm largely in agreement with you. Just pointing out the option that he qualifies
and he exists.
He exists. I like him against righties. There's some power there. Second base. Bet $6,300. Albies $55. Altuve and Simeon rounded out there at the second base position for us. Any top targets that you're plugging in today, Howard?
Yeah, I like Marcus Simeon here going up against Alex Wood, the lefty, Oakland. I just, I think that Texas is just, they're starting to feel it now, and I'm perfectly happy using somebody like Simeon. When I checked all his props this morning, when I was looking through them all, everything was like 2.5 instead of 1.5. And so you're like, all right, Vegas understands here as well. So that's kind of put me onto Simeon a lot more than Betts and Albies and Altuve. I mean, obviously, yeah, Betts, any Dodger. I'll say this, any Dodger at any point is viable.
Sure.
Probably say the same thing about Braves too. Probably say the same thing about Braves. We shout Albies a little louder when he's facing a lefty, which he's not, but he's still Ozzy Albies and it's still the Braves. So yeah. Simeon's in that area there. Then I look for, like a little further down, right? And I try to figure out like where I can find some help. I was kind of looking at what's his face? Estrada. Because I was looking to see what he was doing, but he was too expensive at 4,100 for me.
Yeah.
Like he hasn't heated up yet. And I was like, how the hell is this dude at 4,100?
Yeah, matchup based. Obviously, there is a little bit of power speed. I like Gleiber at 45 against Puck. I think that one works out well.
Mm-hmm.
They're also, let's see, what else did I have? Stott, again, came through for us last night. Don't mind that one. Gavin Lux hitting ninth, get the wraparound. Waiting for him to kind of wake up or them to figure out a new spot, a new guy to plug in that lineup. But he's hitting ninth at $3,300 there. Some value.
Yeah, there's definitely some value there. I like the Stott call for sure. I definitely do. I think that's an interesting spot to go. You guys talked about Kevin Biggio yesterday. Or you guys,
me, Kevin Biggio. Yep.
I don't know if I would go there, but it's definitely against Kirby. I think Kirby kind of bounces back. I'm not totally sold on Kirby at the full bounce back, but I still feel like Kirby's got to bounce back.
I mean, at 3K, it doesn't take much from to pay off his price tag. We can just find a way to get on base. He's gotten on base now in 4 straight games, 2 doubles over that stretch with an RBI. So You're really hoping just for the 3K homer because he does have some pop in his bat, but he's never really going to be a multi-hit guy, in my opinion, or at least a consistent multi-hit guy there, in my opinion. Let's see, the Mets ended up scoring a bunch of runs yesterday. Jeff McNeil 1 for 2 with 2 runs. Nimmo homered twice. I don't know. Maybe, I know we looked Lopez there, but just kind of mentioning it. Third base. Where are we going again? We talked a lot of Padres this morning when we thought they were facing a lefty, facing a righty now, but inexperienced there. Paredes. I still like McMahon. What are your thoughts here at third?
Well, damn, man, if I can afford it, I'm gonna stack up Olsen and Riley here against Hauser if I can afford it. I don't know if I can or not, but I'm definitely digging on that. Your boy McMahon, Ryan McMahon, turned out right the couple of hits yesterday.
You gotta listen to me sometimes, Howard. I'm telling you, when he's at home, he's just a different guy. He just is.
He's just a different guy.
400 on the season. I mean, geez.
Yeah. We talked Max Muncy again, lefty bat against Louis Varland. I think that works. This is where I would be more inclined to use like Jake Berger rather than using him at first.
Sure.
Get Berger here. Chris Morel also. I mean, Joe Musgrove had a good outing his last time out, but he's still been hittable. And Morel is he's a kid that just puts the barrel of the bat on the ball consistently. So I think that's definitely worth a look as well.
Yeah, good power numbers against righties last year for Morel. Obviously, some swing and miss in that bat. But yeah, if you're not in on Musgrove here tonight, the Cubs could be a little bit of a sneaky stack. What do you think on Birdie at 3,400 if we're looking for some value today?
John Birdie. I mean, if he doesn't steal a base, like where's the value? Like there's no power out of Birdie. I mean, you could get it, in some runs scored. I guess would be the
it's the stolen bases. It's a double stolen base potential for him. Now a lefty's on the mounts, maybe that diminishes that obviously a little bit there, but he's there. I mentioned earlier, Brett Beatty might be the best hitter on the Mets right now. 3 hits yesterday, multi-hit games now, and 3 of the last 4.
Dude, I think it's so funny how quick everybody just jumped off of that bandwagon.
Right.
Like, how bad did he? I mean, I get it. He didn't look good last year, and there was so much hype about him coming up. I remember in season-long leagues, people were just, unloading the fab budget to grab Brett Beatty, and then he was terrible.
Mm-hmm.
And then everybody just kind of like, we're done with him. Like, whatever happened to, rookies struggling in their first, come up, and then, then they turn it on. So I hope Beatty, I genuinely listen, I hate the Mets with a passion. I more hate the fans than the Mets, but I hope that Brett Beatty comes back and I hope he dominates as a key third base cog for them.
Okay. Here's a kind of an interesting play. Emmanuel Rivera had some good numbers as a lefty split. The last couple of years with Arizona, ends up obviously losing his job there, moves on, gets to Miami. $2,400 against Rodon there. Any interest in Emmanuel Rivera?
I'm
going to pull up his numbers so I can just kind of let you know just what this guy was doing against lefties when he was with Arizona here. Give me 1 second.
I don't know, but you know what I find really funny is that just a couple of $100 cheaper is Josh Smith. Why is Josh Smith the lefty not only in the lineup against Alex Wood, but batting second?
Josh Smith, where is he? What's his price?
Texas Rangers.
2,300.
Lefty bat, playing short, starting against a lefty. I mean, I don't want to use him. I'd rather use Rivera against Rodon.
Well, if he's hitting second, who's not in their lineup today?
Seager.
Okay. Interesting.
Very. That makes me rethink Simeon a little bit.
I would have interest in Josh Smith then. Alex Wood's not long for that game.
No, he's not.
I would play Josh Smith at 2,300, even against lefty. I would still play him.
Wow. Well, that's an interesting turn of events there.
All these that lineup came right out as we went live there. So
wow.
The updated positions here without this filling up for me.
Is Seager hurt or is he just getting a day off?
No, he's probably just getting a day off.
Why does he need a day off? I mean, I don't mean to complain like some people on Twitter, but come on, man. We're 10 games into the season.
They got Wenzel in the lineup today, 2K in 7th.
Who is
that? They still didn't play your Foscue guy there.
Foskew's on the IL.
Oh, there you go.
He played that one game last week, and then
Got
he
hurt.
landed on the IL.
Yeah, Ezekiel Duran starting at first base tonight. A lot of weird lineup guys for the Rangers. I would definitely play Smith. That's a great price for him. At 2,300. I don't even care about the lefty-lefty matchup on him personally.
Interesting. Simeon. Poor guy. Hanging out there now.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Not a lot of protection now behind him.
Not a lot of protection at all. That's incredibly disappointing.
Let's move on over to short. Again, we know no.
I almost want to go back to second now. Come on. No.
We'll run it back when you build the lineup. Shortstop as bets. Witt, Turner, your top 3 guys here. Machado, dual positional eligibility.
Oh, they're
Lindor,
all terrible.
Bichette, your top guys. Top 6 third baseman here. Did you find yourself looking to spend up at short? I kind of had a Yankee in mind for me today.
Oh yeah, are you gonna Volpe it?
I
thought we were talking Ha-Seong Kim. We were all in on Ha-Seong Kim.
Well, they don't have the lefty on the mound anymore, Howard. It's not
still, but it's Ben Brown. All right. It's only against the lefty you want to use Kim. That's fine.
Yeah.
Anthony Volpe against AJ Puck and the Miami bullpen. I think it's a great price.
Yeah. Now that was once that pitching switch came about. I've played a lot of Volpe as it is, and then now you're getting him in a good matchup here against Puck at only 4,200. I'm buying into some Anthony Volpe hitting 6th tonight for the Yankees. I do like the Yankees in this matchup against Puck. Going down, Blaze Alexander's hitting 9th today. You get the wraparound against Quantrill. We know there's some potential power speed combo with him there.
That lineup, how about this one here? You ready for the Arizona lineup?
Yeah.
It's Corbin Carroll, Gabriel Moreno, Jock Peterson, Christian Walker, Suarez, Jace Peterson, Randall Grichuk, Jake McCarthy, Blaze Alexander. So no Ketel Marte.
Yeah. We did talk about Jock Peterson on the morning show likely getting the start there, but and Jake McCarthy, those guys are going to be interesting. I didn't think Grichuk could still be in the lineup, but obviously without Ketel Marte in, they've moved some things around.
When did we talk about Jace Peterson? Was it against the lefty against Freeland that we I brought him up on the show?
He is.
Was it the other day?
Yeah, Jace Peterson is a lefty, I believe. So
right. Yeah.
Hitting 6th. Hitting 6th though. I mean, Jace Peterson's not a 6 hitter. What are we doing? He's 3,100 at shortstop.
Jace Peterson? Is he a 2 hitter?
He's not. I mean, usually, he's like a 7, 8, 9. He's not middle of the bat. He's not middle of the order guy. 3,100 though, hitting 6th, and Coors probably gets some love here today.
Should.
I like Pena still, $3,800. I mentioned Blaze Alexander, 39, and I like Volpe in the mid tier there. So.
Yeah. I mean, listen, you don't have to spend up at short.
Nope.
You really don't.
Mookie playing second base obviously helps that eligibility for spending up as well. So,
sure.
Outfield, Howard.
Outfield, John. Okay.
What's your flavor here?
Well, tastes delicious. All right. So I've kind of been looking. It's really kind of funny. I built the lineup earlier with some bargain outfielders instead of some top price guys, but. I mean, again, we talked Ohtani. I'll look at Judge against Puck. I think that's perfectly fine. Again, any Brave, Ronald Acuna Jr., he's in there as well. And I'm kind of been looking down. Adolis Garcia. I was looking at him. I know he's got some pretty hefty ownership, I believe, as well.
Yeah, people like him.
People love him. Wow,
our guy Herrera is in the lineup again. I know it's Wheeler, but he's 3,200. But did homer for us. He's hitting 6th. Would you go back to the well with him at catcher? By the way, I just want to circle back quickly and see that he's starting.
Ivan Herrera. I mean, listen, I like him, but again, it's I do like him. I'm staying with the outfield. Let's stick with the outfield here because I'm looking at ownership right now, and here you go. Here's Jake McCarthy's up there.
Yeah.
Taylor Trammell. Again, see, everybody listened to me yesterday and he did nothing. Gave you a 0. He's back at it again today. People like Seth Brown, Lourdes Gurriel, there's Jock Peterson.
Mhm.
So what we're seeing right now is, with the exception of Corbin Carroll and Shohei Ohtani, the field seems to be more inclined towards paying down as well.
Yeah. I mean, again, definitely some options here. We talked the 4K range. I think there's a lot of good spots that we can look to target. You know, I still like Michael Harris at $4,400. Came through last night there, has stolen base late in that game, scored a run.
I was looking at doing that little stack there, that Olsen, Ozuna, and Michael Harris as well. I cashed in on his total bases prop yesterday, and I'm just going back to the well again today. So I'm in on that.
Yeah, no, I have no arguments at all with that play for sure. Going down to the value, you mentioned a couple of those names here. Any like automatic plugs for you though as we roll down?
Any automatic plugs? All right, I'll just give you the guys that I was kind of eyeballing
Sure.
here. First and foremost, yes, Jock Peterson, who we talked about. I love Jason Radowitz's write-up on Mike Yastrzemski.
Okay.
As like a cheap one-off. He's $3,100 as a cheap one-off in a very nice situation for him. He's very comfortable and familiar with Oracle Park. And I just think it's a really nice spot for him. So I like that. And then what I like doing, because of, the way the lineup was set for the Padres last night, I expect it to be set in similar fashion there. Jackson Merrill, who we talked about, now that it's not a lefty on the mound,
Yeah,
and it's Ben Brown, Jackson Merrill's $3,100 there as well. So it's a nice little, just a nice little pay down there that you can just kind of, that two $3,100 guys really allows you to get some big bats in there.
Yeah, I like that. I like the Jackson Merrill call. Again, I was high on him last night. We'll see where he ends up hitting with the righty on the mound there, and it goes together well with some plays that we liked on this slate. Seth Brown hitting 5th tonight. Kind of scrolling through. Burleson's in. Canzoni, we talked some lefties against Bassett there. It's probably, we got a cheap guy. Martin's in the lineup, but that's what we got for so far. So you said you built the lineup, Howard. What do we got?
I did. Well, this is kind of going off of where we were at before, but I'm obviously now it's tinker time for me. So
Sure.
It's time to start tweaking things. So I start off with Eovaldi and Savali as our pitchers.
Okay, Eovaldi, Savali.
I threw Camposano in there behind the plate.
Campusano.
Matt Olson's at first.
Olson.
Semion's at second.
Simeon. Okay.
Riley's at third.
All right.
Bing, bang, boom.
Yeah.
Right? Shortstop, baby. There it is. Because we brought him up before. We did it for a reason. He's a lefty bat hitting in cores. Jace Peterson.
3,100. All right. We got 35 to go.
We got Jock Peterson in the lineup also.
Jock is 42.
Jackson Merrill.
Jackson Merrill down here at 31. Where's 32? And then Yaz, I imagine.
And then Yaz.
There you go. $0 remaining. We got Eovaldi, Savali, Campusano, Olson, Semien, Riley, Peterson, Merrill, and Yastrzemski. No dollars remaining. We give ourselves a little 2-man Atlanta stack. We got a 2-man Arizona stack there as well. A couple of one-off plays that were high on. 2 San Diego Padres.
2 Padres
lineup,
as well.
A one-off Marcus Semien here today. So not a terrible lineup.
So where would you tweak that? I'm very curious to know where you would tweak it.
Yeah, so I mean, I can go ahead and just give you a lineup that I've built. It's similar to yours. A couple of changes here, but similar. I don't have a ton of cores exposure, which probably today is the wrong day to do that. But I did this here. We'll keep these are the guys that we have that are the same. So I kept Campusano, kept Merrill, Eovaldi, Savali. I actually went back to the Dodgers here. I went Ohtani, and I went Betts, and I went value. I did the Josh Smith play, $6,300 or $2,300 rather. I did Volpe at shortstop. 4K outfield, I did Jake McCarthy at $3,400.
Super chalky, right? Third highest projected owned guy.
I'll ride with that. And then I did my guy Taylor, or Harris rather, Michael Harris, that I like.
Michael Harris.
44. So give you $200 left over. Evaldi, Savali, Campusano, Otani, Betts, Smith, Volpe, McCarthy, Merrill, and Harris. Again, now that some other catchers are starting to open up, I don't mind going with Betancourt. If you're not in on Lopez, Omar Narvaez, $2,400 just as a pun play. Dude's coming off 3 hits. He wasn't a terrible bat when he was in Milwaukee all those years ago. Ivan Herrera is there at 32, so you could even save some money on Campusano if you wanted to, and spend up a little bit more depending on how you want to build some lineups here today. So could go Jonah Heim, go a little stack there with Josh Smith there, 2 and 5. So that's where I'm at here, Howard. Again, we'll have the full playbook is already out for everybody. We'll have the updates as they come through. We'll have updated roster once we get closer to roster lock there as well. We appreciate you all tuning in here today. Howard and I, again, will have the pre-show out for you early on the morning, and we'll be back live at 4 p.m. Eastern time for the Wednesday slate. All right, is it Wednesday or Thursday that has the afternoon slate?
You know what? I don't even know if Wednesday or Thursday is the afternoon, because Wednesday, you only have like 5 games after 7 p.m.
Okay, so we'll still have the show for Wednesday. No show for Thursday. There's only 1 game after 1. So Wednesday, yes, we'll have the live show here at 4 p.m. Eastern time. Thursday, we will not just do the slate, but we will have the pre-show for Thursday, so you can check that out there. If you haven't already, toss a like or subscribe to the channel. Do so. Obviously helps us out. Free way to support the work that we do here over at Fantasy Alarm. Howard, any final thoughts for people at home?
I have no final thoughts, but best of luck to you guys. I'm kind of wondering, John, you want to put a buck on your lineup versus my lineup?
Sure.
Done.
Good luck, everybody, with your lineups. We'll catch you later.